suplex.
Good morning, everybody. December 17th. We are 8 days away from Christmas. Sorry for the delay. Facebook, listen, it's under 32 degrees here in Las Vegas. It's under freezing, so everything freezes in Las Vegas. Thank you for watching. 702-329-6947. Press the number 1-855-502-4321. Give us a call. Of course, send us a tweet if you'd like to. Hashtag Thoughts Count Anywhere, or you can have it out with Matt at hashtag
at TCA 702, which we are now verified on.
Oh, we're verified?
Oh. We got that blue check mark thing.
All right. So you know you're getting into us when you see the blue check
Now you're
mark.
getting into the real ones.
That's right. It's the real ones. Well, folks, we got a lot to do today. I mean, we got huge happenings going on in the world of wrestling. Everything from Mandy Rose's firing to Bobby Lashley being fired and being rehired in 24 hours. Good morning, Jennifer.
Aloha, Jennifer.
To losing Mandy Rose, not only her title, but her job, and who knows what else in between. And 20-year streak will continue on SmackDown in a week as well. A lot going on. Mr.
2
Matt,
weeks.
2 weeks. Mr. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing good. Been a crazy week. Not bad.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Chief, how are you, sir? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. We started the show.
We'll have to go to Wikipedia and ask how Chief is.
Okay, Thomas, how are you?
Good.
Any flying frozen chickens or
No, thank God, no.
I got to come up with something better.
bags of frozen peas being released in the frozen food aisle to slide on? Yes, sir, Chief. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I got a story to tell before yours.
Okay.
Anyway, we're at the event yesterday, right?
Okay.
And we're sitting there, and this very nice lady comes up and says to Thomas,
A girl talked to Thomas that don't believe this story already.
Don't I know you from Albertsons? And I asked her, I said, are you the lady that threw the lighter fluid on aisle 8?
Oh, no.
And she says, no, but that's a good idea. I said, well, I got one better. I says, go to the frozen food section and get the frozen peas and just open the bags up and throw them down aisle 8 when Thomas is on there so he can, True story.
Good job. All right. So a lot going to be going on at Thomas's Albertsons, I guess, here. Make sure you get it on videotape so we can show it. By the way, before we get into story time with Matt, I just want to mention, if you missed the roundtable this past Thursday night, I just want to let everybody know, because of scheduling with Reggie Burton and Christina, they were not eligible or available to come in today with us. Yes. They were able to come in on Thursday. Matt and Chief were with me and George, and Rick, unfortunately, was out of town. And again, we want to thank everybody from TRC.
And Thomas was working.
I hope he watched the show. Exactly. Because I'm going to test him later. Top Rope Collectibles, Garth, Tom Crawford for the Chop challenge, so to speak. Alice Blair for doing that for us, and everybody. And I'm jumping around with a ton of names. Did you see what Jennifer says?
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh my God, Jennifer, I'll send you the money later.
He's brainwashed you, Jennifer.
The monitor over Matt's head has gone blue, please, sir. This is, you know what? We're getting close. Listen. What goes on in this studio in terms of spirits kind of reminds me of Scrooge and all those movies, Christmas Carol.
It's getting to be the holidays.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking, spirits, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, buddy spirit, definitely.
That's, if you only knew.
He's a ghost of Christmas past.
I talked to the young lady I was talking to Thursday night.
Yes.
She said to me, I was telling her about our show here and how I always get picked on. She said, well, when that happens, Chief, you know what to do.
Whoosha.
It hasn't worked yet.
Well, he just got the advice yesterday. So,
We're gonna test that
I
theory
know.
today.
Mr. Hosey posted on mine and said, I have nothing to do with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, he ran around outside unplugging everybody's
Yeah.
Facebook pages. All right. What do you say we get started?
Is that how that works?
With.
Story time with Matt.
There you go.
It is now story time.
I caught our producer off guard.
Bad
there.
moment.
Yeah, 'cause he rings the bell too.
What did he can't. Wait a minute. Wait.
It's okay.
He's eating his donut, but he came back into the studio with something else that I thought was healthier. How did that happen? Anyway, go ahead, Matt.
Even if it's healthier, there's donuts right there.
That's true.
It's hard to put down. But I got a crazy one because I got a call that there was some crazy lady by the bus stop and had her stuff everywhere. So I get over there and she has a ton of pick up your stuff. Let's move along over there. No one will bother you. Blah blah blah. And she was like, "Leave me alone. I'm shitting." And I was like, "You're what?" And she's like, "I have a diaper on. I'm shitting. Leave me alone." And I was like, "We're not doing this today. Get your shit and get out."
So to speak.
Literally.
Yes, right.
Not figuratively.
And then she started then it started getting louder and louder. And she's like, "Every time you yell at me, I shit because I got food poisoning. Every time you scream, I shit." And she just goes on like this tantrum, and eventually she gets up and eventually leaves after like 10 minutes, but it was hilarious.
Man, did she have the runs, or I mean, were they solid? Did she?
I didn't want to look in her diaper and find out.
Oh,
I wonder if
She could wipe herself.
I wonder if possibly she's a patient that was released from one of our local hospitals and put on the street, possibly.
oh, yeah, that was a big report a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, but she had stuff though, so it sounds like she was homeless, maybe, right? I mean, she had a lot of her personal stuff with her.
Yeah.
I was being facetious.
No, but I'm glad. Thomas,
Boy, did that feel good.
wrong Thomas. There was a video this about 3 weeks ago where somebody was caught at UMC, wasn't it? It was UMC.
No,
Which one was it?
Valley.
Oh, it was Valley.
Yes.
Where a patient with a walker, two hospital people, and one or two security guards, they walked this person out across the street
From Valley to UMC.
and just left her.
Yep.
Took her walker away, whatever. She was just laying there on the street, and this was just because, like Chief said, the hospital just took her out and literally booted her out, and that was it. I mean,
Jeez.
And
So-
from what I read,
Yes.
if I can digress
Yeah.
for a minute, evidently this isn't the first time that this has happened.
I read that as well.
And
That's scary.
now, evidently, there is a big investigation going on. So
Good for them. Good for them. All right. We got a lot to talk about today, and I know we're like 20 minutes after the hour. We're going to step aside at the bottom of the hour for our first commercial break of the first hour, and we'll try to play catch up from there. So it is time now for I Hear Voices. Rumors Vince McMahon is planning to return to WWE. Interesting side. Did you guys watch the 9 Lives of Vince McMahon?
I haven't watched it yet. No, it's on the DVR.
Okay, I watched it, and there was a comment at the end, or at the beginning, they do the disclaimer. Vince declined being part of it,
Of course.
and many wrestlers were approached about being part of it. They wanted to, but they chose not to for fear that if Vince does come back, they don't want any issues.
Makes sense.
So anyway, I digress. So Vince coming back, God, I hope not. And I'll just say it at that. Gentlemen?
No, he's not. When news broke that he wanted to come back, the stock market, they lost money in the stock market. The investors don't want anything to do with Vince.
That's very true. The market prices went up after he left.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
He better not come back. The way it's going right now, it's in a better state than it was last year when Vince was in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to go back down. I don't want to see like the people that we like go back to catering or go back to the unemployment line or off to the pasture somewhere. I don't know, but Vince needs to stay retired. He did what he did, and we're thankful for what he did to put the business to where it is today, but it's time to move on.
Stay retired.
But we can be realistic for a minute.
Sure.
Vince wasn't Vince taken off of the board of directors? He was voted off. So he has no power with the board of directors anymore. The only thing that I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he owns stock in
He's
WWE.
Still owns majority stock, I
Okay.
believe.
He's still the majority
So
stockholder.
he is the majority stockholder. So he does have some voice in the company
Yep.
when they have a stockholders meeting.
Yep.
And that's the only time.
Right.
So unless there's a backdoor agreement or something, which there could be, it's Vince McMahon, you don't know. I would think that, in all honesty, Vince doesn't have the capability of being able to come back to WWE because he would have to be voted back in by the board of directors, which he's not one anymore. So he may come back to WWE. Maybe he'll buy front row tickets and sit in the front row at the shows. But in this scenario, being truthful, I don't see him coming back.
I hope not. And you guys said, we all said it in tandem. The product is right now about as good as it can be since the change and
Yeah.
the transition. Anything with his name still on it actively, I think, will kill it.
It's going to get better in a month. The
Oh, yeah.
product's going to get better in a month
Okay?
when Mr. Regal comes back.
Yeah.
It's
Well, but
not-
he's going to be down at NXT.
It's
He's not
still-
on the main
it's-
brand, right?
It's still going to get
Well, the
better.
feed, yes.
Yes, indeed, it's going to get better.
Good morning, Principe. Thank you for checking in, my friend.
Vince is saying that he got bad advice. That if he were just stuck around, he just and wrote this out, it would all would have
Well,
gone away.
the advice. Well, then why write the tens of millions of dollars in payoff in hush money?
Wasn't there something else that just came out that he's in trouble again?
Yeah, with
Yeah, like the day
with-
they said he was going to come back.
Well, no, with Rita Sheraton. Those
Oh, that
allegations-
referee.
Yeah, those allegations
Oh,
came
yeah.
back.
That was
and-
part of the story last
Yeah.
night on Vince's Nine Lives.
and
As a
those
former,
allegations came back, and
Yeah.
I guess because of something, I guess it happened in California.
Yep.
They were extending the what's that? What
the grandfather time or the
Yeah.
moratorium or whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Producer, I got a message from a listener that Chief's mic is out there sort of lower than everybody else's. No, it's
Hello?
working. Don't change what you're doing. I'm just sharing it and we'll hopefully fit. We're all being heard fine, but I just got that from a listener in the direct message. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to follow to see what happens. I hope it doesn't happen because right now the product is riding high. People are loving it. In contradiction, we'll get to this in a later section of WWE Report where Triple H is underwhelmed with some of the returns. I have a comment on that when we get to it, but that's sort of like
Underwhelmed or overwhelmed?
underwhelmed. He's been underwhelmed with many of the returns, which I find ironic since he's the one that frickin' brought him back, and creative can do something about that. But anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Next topic.
Ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Rumor is we will get Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
Take my money.
Sign me up.
Should be a great
It's gonna
match
be a hell of a brutal match.
for the IC title, or will it matter?
Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
I don't think Gunther will have the title by then, but we'll see.
Okay.
Personal opinion, I think Gunther's the up and comer in WWE right now.
Okay.
I totally agree with that.
Twitter, we haven't heard anything from you yet. Send us a comment through hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere. We could see your thoughts on all of this.
However, Ricochet was off the charts last night.
Absolutely was. Absolutely
I'm sure
was.
we're going to get to that later.
Yeah,
He was like the most underutilized person under Vince McMahon, I think, and
Well, outside
like
of-
him and Shelton Benjamin might be the two most underutilized people in the history of that company.
Well, Ed Finn.
Did you see him and Gunther last night?
Yeah?
That was take my money match,
Heck yeah.
in my opinion.
So here's a question on and again, it's probably on here. But
I've got an answer.
okay.
What's the question?
I feel like Alex,
You was going to say, what's the answer?
I feel like Alex Trebek right now.
I got it out first.
So here you have Ricochet, who put
Yes,
on
sir.
a hell of a match last night. We all are in agreement with that.
Absolutely.
He lost.
Yes.
Now what do you do with Ricochet to keep this momentum going for winning the cup, having this great match? What do you do with Ricochet now?
Who's the guy that's got the other belt?
U.S. title?
Yeah.
Theory.
Huh?
Austin Theory.
Put him against Theory.
Okay.
And let him beat Theory for the belt.
Since Cross is busy with Rey Mysterio,
at the
And
time.
Cross is usually good with the smaller guys, and Ricochet is like the best small guy in the business. He's not really small, but
Yeah.
he
But
does
he's not
like
as
all
big-
the
Yeah.
198 pounds.
he does all the flippy stuff better than everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to see Cross versus Ricochet just to see what would happen. It'd be a killer match.
That's a good-
no pun
Be a banger.
intended.
I was going to say, nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, that would be a great. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And has anybody seen Theory the last week or two? Was he on TV this past Monday?
Yeah, I think he was. I
Yeah.
didn't finish Raw, but yeah, I think he pretty
He
sure he,
did?
was. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember reading or seeing the highlights with him in anything of importance. But yeah, so, there's a lot going on. I just follow up. And again, I know this has got to be on the sheet somewhere. What happened on Rampage? Chris Jericho loses to that Action Andretti. And nobody
He had that plan for months.
Okay, whatever. I mean, but here you got what many are billing the biggest upset possibly in wrestling history. And what they were talking about on that 1 millionth favorite show that we all have here, what's the follow-up? Because Tommy Dreamer compared it to when the 1-2-3 Kid pinned Razor Ramon back in the day, and Sean Waltman became X-Pac, and they developed
Yeah.
him. So what's the follow-up? They did very well with him. Now the question for AEW, and I think Tommy's right on, now what do you do with this kid who just beat what many people believe is a GOAT? And the follow-up is going to be more important to build him up so that big win is still synonymous with him throughout the rest of his career, rather than it be, hey, weren't you guy that one time who
Yeah.
beat, it's a great resume builder,
It is
but
a builder. Exactly.
so what do we do? What do they do with him? So what do we do with Ricochet is my point. What do you do with Ricochet now? Does he go into Theory, with Theory, but his next storyline has to be pretty strong, I would hope, yeah?
Yeah, well,
I would almost they put him with Roman just to get him on like that next level, but it's one of those matches like he's not going to win,
Right.
but it kind of puts him on that next level.
Okay. Do you think he needs to join or become part of a possible faction, face or heel side at all to help him moving forward?
no, he's good on his own. He can talk.
Okay. All right.
Hunter just got to get behind him more.
Okay.
And he's got to, we'll find out maybe on the 30th because they taped next week's SmackDown last night.
Right, for the holidays.
Yeah. And he's in a stupid Miracle on 34th Street fight
See, that's what I mean by the follow-up. Now, granted, that was probably done before last night's match,
after.
but still, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
But this will be a
but-
throwaway show.
Yeah.
It's probably going to get low ratings. No one's going to care.
Ricochet's on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Adam Pearce is on SmackDown, right?
He's on both, technically.
Yeah. Are you talking about Paris or Theory?
Who
Are you talking? Yeah, you talking about GM Pierce or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's on both shows.
who's the writers for SmackDown? Just off our heads. Any
No idea.
idea?
No.
Any idea?
Hunter.
Michael Hayes, I'm sure, is on SmackDown.
Triple H.
Kevin, thank you for your comment. You're right on.
Somebody just needs to step up and get in Ricochet's corner. And Michael P.S. Hayes, if you're listening, and if you're not, I'll shout it out to you later.
If not, why not?
My recommendation is, one of them get behind Ricochet and give him the good push. And I still say, I think he should go up against Theory myself.
I think that would make
that's
make
where
sense.
he needs to go.
Yeah. We just got a comment in there from, who was it? I just saw it pop up there.
G-Scoop.
Thank you. G-Scoop saying it would be a morality killer, and yes, it would be. It's interesting you said about somebody getting behind Ricochet. When Paul Heyman was in charge behind the scenes for a while, wasn't he, good morning, Ronald, wasn't he behind Ricochet and got that initial push when Heyman took over?
Yeah.
And then Heyman was let go of those responsibilities, and that's when we saw Ricochet go away for a while.
Heyman's probably the best creative mind in the business right now.
Okay?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there is one other person, but unfortunately, Heyman and him don't get along, so that's why he's not at WWE and never.
Bischoff? Is that Bischoff?
No.
Okay.
Cornette.
Oh. Well, I think a lot of people have issues with Cornette, but you're right. Those two are probably the number one. Hatfields and McCoys.
They're the best creative
Sure.
minds in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with that at all. All right, we're at the bottom of the hour. So we're going to step aside for our first break before we start getting into some news. And by the way, Chief, even before we had technical issues of logging on, Chief shared with me that he really doesn't have a rant ready. So we're going to use that time We're going to touch on a couple of things, but more importantly, coming up at some point before we get to the top of the hour.
Women's Hall of Fame.
It's the Women's Hall of Fame that Matt, Thomas, and I decided to put on hold a few weeks ago while Chief was out. So we're going to cover that next. You are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart of Las Vegas. Don't go anywhere because that Hall of Fame segment's going to be crazy. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
What's up, boy? It's Fatu over here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere, the podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching this. This is my new tag team partner, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hi, I'm Sean Devaria. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news. Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition. And we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere, because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
All right, welcome back. Thoughts Count Anywhere. We got thoughts coming from everywhere. Thomas, the historian, and I have been debating during the break whether we should clear house.
Why?
Well, we don't want to be too close to the firing lines. You know what I'm saying? But this is a topic that for the last couple of weeks we were going to talk about it when Chief was out sick. I mean,
bunch of wusses, man.
Listen, I've sat at ringside watching you swing that kendo stick, and I think Duke is still feeling it on the back of his leg. Are you warming up, by the way?
I got his back. Don't worry.
He's got his back.
I got
oh, my
his
God.
back, man.
All right, so
We're
a couple
good
of
to
weeks
go.
ago, it was announced first.
If we weren't friends, I wouldn't get his. What the hell you call that?
Funko Pop?
Yeah, I wouldn't get his Funko Pops.
Very
signed
true.
Today, so.
Very true. So a couple of weeks ago, we were going to talk about the first inductees into the first ever Women's Hall of Fame. Chief was out ill, and we decided that we're going to hold that segment off because we wanted to do it with Chief back in studio with us. So what? You guys have probably seen the list out there. I mean, it's by we believe, and I believe Thomas here is looking it up, that this was created out of the new Hall of Fame up in Albany. Right,
Yeah.
has put this first list together, and it has raised a couple of questions because we've noted. Chief brought it up. There's two names that we find it interesting are not on this first list. But let's talk about the people that are on the list first that are up for induction. That will get into the first ever. So the first ever. Women's champion Cora Livingston. What do we know about Cora? Obviously before my time, so I don't know. No, seriously, I'm asking. Do we know? What do we know?
I had to look up 9/10 of these names, honestly.
Don't look at me.
That's why we were waiting for Chief to even talk about.
You're the Prius.
No, there's
you're the Prius. You're the
there's
Prius.
historian.
Oh, we have a
right
historian,
there.
too.
You fucked up.
No, I
You
didn't.
fucked up. There's the historian.
You didn't
right
let me
there.
finish.
No,
You're
no,
the
no,
pre-
no, no.
you are the
It's like-
prehistoric
it's like-
historian.
It's like last week. Last week when your teeth weren't in and you couldn't talk.
Because you didn't give me your glue.
So,
That's
so
why.
don't go there.
You're the prehistoric
Look it up.
historian.
You got your TV.
I can't. I'm watching the feed
you got
here.
Your telephone
You got yours
over
right there too.
You got your telephone.
Anyway,
over.
Cora
Don't
Livingston.
go-
She's the first entrant. First NWA Women's Champion, Mildred Burke.
I've heard of the name, for
Okay.
sure.
Mildred was NWA champion, first NWA champion.
Wow.
Held the belt.
Observant you are.
Held the belt. All right.
Do you know how long
for
she
many
had it? No,
over
seriously.
over 15 years.
She had it that long.
Yeah, she was good.
Okay.
She was good.
So
but
that's good.
her and Moolah never wrestled each other either.
Really?
Never. Nope.
Wow.
Well, it's at NWA,
Yeah.
and it was the territories.
Right.
So and that's unfortunately that's what it is back then.
Yeah, there were a lot of matches. The dream matches that could have happened if you crossed territories could have been nuts. What do you have there, Mr. Historian?
The credentials to get in ordering to be considered, the individual needs to have made a significant contribution in the world of women's amateur or pro wrestling. Women's wrestling has been in existence since the 1800s.
Wow.
And was featured in numerous carnivals, circuses, vaudeville, and burlesque shows.
Okay. Can you look up Cora Livingston now?
Yes.
Let's see what we have on her. So Mildred Burke, you said 15 years. That even trumps Bruno's record, right? Bruno was 9. So
Well, look at how many years Moolah was.
yeah, how many years was her? I mean, she was forever also. Would you say she topped the 15 years?
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And she had
And wrestling was
let me
different
see.
though at that time,
Moolah-
obviously.
When Moolah lost the belt, Moolah lost the belt to Wendy Richter.
Yes.
Okay. But then she came back and won the belt. She re-won it.
Right, right.
And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Medusa who beat her the second time for the belt.
And then, of course, Medusa had the famous
Dump.
wastebasket dunk
Yes.
appearing on WCW at that time. Good morning, Tommy Guns.
Okay, so
go ahead. Yes.
Cora Livingston. Cora B. Bowser, better known by the ring name Cora Livingston, was an American professional wrestler. She's the first women's world champion in professional wrestling history. She was born in 1867 in Buffalo, New York. Died April 22nd, 1957 in Boston, Massachusetts.
Does it say how long she had a title?
That's
though?
what I'm looking for right now. What?
You should have known it. She was born in Buffalo. You should have known it.
I guess, yes, you're right.
All right, next lady going in, Beverly Shade. Anything on that? Because I don't know these names. I mean, quite
I don't
honest.
either. I knew like 3 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know Beverly.
Okay.
We'll pass. Now the next one's the tag team. I know Tony Rose and Donna Cristianello.
Okay.
They were one of the first tag teams who held the belts, and they held the belts numerous occasions.
Whose belts were they? Were they NWA's?
The
or?
WWE.
Oh, they were
Well,
WWE.
Worldwide Wrestling. The WWF.
Triple W.
Yeah,
Yes.
triple.
Wow.
Yeah, and they wrestled against Little Heart and what the hell was her? I can't remember her tag team partner. But there was some good. There was always. You should have seen. There was always good battles at Madison Square when the women came in.
Did they wrestle in the
Oh,
late
yeah.
70s, early
Yeah,
80s time
yeah,
at the Garden? Okay.
Yeah. You know, they were there when Moolah was there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I really, got to be honest with you, Chief, I honestly don't remember a woman's tag belts at that time.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember it. Wow. Because now when you think about it, with that lineage and go 40 years later.
Yep.
And until the women's titles were brought back up again as tags, it's crazy.
And what's her name's retained the belt last night, the tag belts last night on SmackDown? Do you know that?
The
faction with
Bailey's group.
With Bailey's group.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Okay,
with a little outside help, though, too.
Yeah, I know.
Livingston started her career at age 16 in the circus, with her first match to be documented took place on March 19, 1906, at the Lafayette Theater in Buffalo. She defeated Laura Bennett in 1910 to be the first to be recognized as women's champion of the world. She held the belt till she retired in either 1925 or 35. They're not sure when she retired.
So she held it until she retired.
Yeah, from 1910 till...
So it could be 15 or 25 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Even 15 years is... But then again, you know, somebody will hold a belt 15 years at that era.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like holding a belt today, or
No.
even when Bruno had it for 9 years.
Apparently, she had a match on September 7, 1910. She had a match with a lady named Mae Nelson. They wrestled for 13 minutes until the police had to stop the match. due to fans who tried to storm the ring as Livingston was being too rough for Nelson.
Oh my gosh.
The match between the two resumed 2 days after the incident where Livingston lost, but she didn't lose the belt. It was a title match.
Did you want to share that comment there, Mr. Matt?
Tommy Gunn just said, did Chief date any of these women? Bazinga.
All right. Yes, sir.
I can reply, can I?
Absolutely.
Mr. Guns, if you want to browbeat me, why don't you get in the fucking ring tonight and at the Christmas show, and you and I can go at it, and I will gladly break your freaking kneecaps. Chief, over and out.
I volunteer to be the special referee.
I don't need a referee.
Jacob, buddy.
No holes barred.
Long time no see. Thank you for jumping into the chat room.
Who's going to count the fall?
It'll be a phantom count.
Rocky.
Rocky.
First African American champion, Ethel Johnson.
Ethel Hairston.
Okay. But that's not what it says here.
Died at 82 years old.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to read one clip.
Okay.
Ethel Hairston was an American professional wrestler whose ring name was Ethel Johnson. She debuted at age 16, becoming the first African-American women's champion. She was a fan favorite, billed as the biggest attraction to hit girl wrestling since girl wrestling began.
There you go. So, you listen to the history on some of these ladies. Everybody talks about the women's revolution that started. I'm sorry, but the revolution started back at this time.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Early 1800s.
Yeah.
I heard a comment on our favorite other show this morning.
Yep.
2 million.
Tommy said that Gonzalez reminds him of, get this, the ninth wonder of the world.
I've heard that comparison. They've said that a few times, slightly, to China. I don't know. She got a long way to go, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw that out there. Female wrestling.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Raquel Rodriguez is already better than China. China was awful.
I think we're going to step over to the...
Was she a good wrestler? Like, legit. Think about it. Did she ever put on a good match? No.
Let me put it this way: if she was still alive and she walked by you,
I'd go pee on her grave right now.
You'd get her damn.
And I kind of got to pee, so I can guarantee
you'd get her
would.
damn autograph, and don't lie
No,
about
I
it.
wouldn't.
The hell you would? What do you got? What are you smiling for? You can't.
I
even
swear to God.
you can't even keep a damn straight face.
If her grave was on this freaking
watch it,
city,
your false
I would
teeth
go
will
pee
fall
on
out.
it.
Watch it now.
Send your comments to Matt at
TCA 702.
Who cares?
First openly gay wrestler, Susan Tex Green.
I think Matt can talk about her. He met her at CAC, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you really?
I believe so.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Bada bing.
Jacob says nobody messes with Chief, not even the Iron Sheik.
Thank you, Jacob.
You jabroni.
You jabroni.
She was there the year that Kevin got the award.
Oh, okay.
They were all the girls were there. The crew out of Texas.
I probably did see her then, but I see so many people at those things that I don't remember names.
We talk about Miss Green being openly gay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you another great wrestler for years who wrestled and was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pat Patterson.
That's correct, and that revelation came out shortly after he passed, didn't it?
Well,
but yes, and it's documented. It's out there. Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna tell you, I had to, and I don't know if you did too, but I had the good fortune of meeting Pat.
Okay.
Through Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
And He was freaking hilarious, man. He could freaking tell some stories, and he liked his beer.
Oh, I'm sure.
And man, the night I met, it was an honor to meet him, and fortunate to sit at the table with JJ and Miss Jerry Briscoe and his son, and then Pat comes over and starts telling stories. Man, I was rolling.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a wild experience at CAC. It was like we went to TGI Fridays. It was me, my friend Jason, and then it was Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, JR, JBL.
Jeez.
And like Wes Briscoe. It was
mind blowing. I would have just turned on a recorder and just put it in the middle of the table.
And sitting there and listening to, and I know we're digressing
That's
off,
okay.
but sitting there listening to those stories and I wonder if today in our wrestling today, if those type of stories still happen.
Not as much, I don't think.
Because JJ, JJ went to Trenton High School in Trenton, New Jersey. Same school I went to. And he was wrestling at Moose Hall, which is in Trenton. And there used to be a lady there that would come every wrestling show by the name of Hat Pin Annie. Hat Pin Annie had a hat pin in her hat or whatever the hell you want to call it, about that long. And when she didn't like the heels, they'd come back after the match. She'd stick them in the ass.
Oh, shit.
Well, it's truth. So one night, JJ was wrestling there, and he was telling me that the match got out of hand. He got so much heat, and it was December, that he ran out of Moose Hall in his wrestling gear, no jacket, no nothing, just these trunks and these boots, and headed down to the armory, because he knew the armory was open. So he ran down there. He called back to Moose Hall to have somebody bring his gear down because he was afraid of getting stabbed.
Sure.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it was a whole different time. All right, some of these upcoming names now on the list are probably more familiar to the modern era more than anything else. But first, this name is something that we were alluding to in the first segment. First female to referee in WWE, Rita Marie Chatterton. Her name has come up. If you guys have not watched the 9 Lives of Vince McMahon or don't know the history, I won't jump the shark on any of that stuff because that has nothing to do with her being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But the first female, and guys and gals, you're listening to this list, you're really talking about the first. Yeah, they're the first inductees, but these people were the firsts in many areas in pro wrestling for women. So the first female referee.
Yes.
When you look at the way women now, in terms of wrestling, referees, both WWE, AEW, we have it on the local promotions, UWW has them. Seeing females in refereeing positions now, it's about time of equality. We see now in football, you see the lady referees on the sidelines, line judge, whatever. So having the first female referee, that's a nice feather in the cap.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. All right. How about Jazz?
Well deserving.
Is it? Of all the modern era people to put in the first class of the Hall of Fame, why in God's name would you put Jazz in this thing?
I think I'm about to move.
Why?
I think
she didn't do much.
I would think part of it might be that has to do with her promoting a wrestling business down in the New Orleans area years ago with her husband. And, because back then there weren't females that owned companies that were promoting professional wrestling. And that would be the only thing I can think of. I mean, she was a competent female wrestler, don't get me wrong. Some of the boys didn't want to get in the ring with her.
But she also came into wrestling, at least from what I remember, with WWE Very talented, obviously physically fit. Okay. If I can say this politely, though, there were parts of her that got to the ring before the rest of her did, because that's what the Attitude Era was all about at that time.
That was Vince McMahon's era.
Yeah,
for your
exactly.
fans.
Exactly. So, yeah, Jacob, Darren Young was another wrestler who came out who also was very good. But again, we're just kind of reviewing the list here of the women, first ever women inductees. But maybe it is a promotional thing, like Chi suggested, where Jazz was the first business owner to be part of a ownership promotion.
Like, if you're going to put somebody from that era into a first Hall of Fame and you don't put Trish Stratus in it, doesn't make sense.
Or how about Lita? Would she measure up to Trish?
Lita or Trish, either
Right.
one.
Or have them both go in.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So that's Jazz. Olympic gold medalist. I'm going to botch the first name. Arena Merleni. I
Arena.
apologize. Arena, first gold medalist as a wrestler. Who did she wrestle for? Because I don't recognize the name.
I have no
Well, it says
idea.
Olympic gold medalist, so she was Olympian. So she might not have been in the. She might not.
Oh,
have
you're
been
saying she may have wrestled just on the
Yeah, because that's
on the amateur
yeah,
side.
Because the
Didn't you
credentials.
listen to what he said
What?
when he read it? You
With the
didn't
credentials-
listen. You didn't listen to
This
it.
part?
You
No,
didn't
with the
listen to a word.
The credentials is amateur or pro. So she could get in, and it's probably just got in for
Okay,
an amateur.
when did she win this gold medal for
find
wrestling?
Look it up.
Okay.
Damn.
He's the historian. You didn't look him up either, so don't be yelling at me.
I don't have to look
Sure you
them
do.
up.
You're
I'm
in part of the
chief.
conversation.
I'm
You
the
have to
chief.
have the information
Turn
too.
your shit off and look
No,
it
I
up.
got to monitor
Well,
this.
I do too.
I don't know. I see a desktop picture there.
He's got it on his home screen.
I do too.
But while he's looking
You
that
got
up,
one too.
let us move on. Luna Vachon. What's the reason behind Luna? What do you think?
She's deserving.
Is that a lineage thing? Because she supposedly was related to Butcher, right?
Yeah. I think she was definitely wasn't that bad. Jeez.
I didn't touch it.
Blame him.
It was Luna's ghost.
Yeah. So the Olympic gold medalist is only 40, so she's young.
When did she wrestle?
That's what I'm finding right now.
He don't.
Looks like 2004.
I didn't even know that. I didn't realize on what level though. Olympic gold medalist. I don't remember women
okay.
wrestling on the Olympic level.
She claimed the gold medal in 2004. In the same event in the 2008 Summer Olympics, she won bronze. She's a 3-time world champion and won the European Championship once. Merleni was born in. I can't pronounce it.
I mean, do you guys remember amateur women's wrestling in the Olympics? Because I don't. I don't. So that's why I'm just curious.
2004, 2008.
Sorry, it takes a tag team to read an article, apparently.
Well, she can't pronounce the name. Then.
She was born in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. She was born in the Ukraine. But what I tapped you for, isn't there one of the girls that's wrestling on NXT now that wrestled Olympics? She's with the Creed brothers.
Oh yeah, I don't remember her name.
I think she, huh?
Ivy Nile's her name.
Who?
Ivy Nile.
No, the other one, the blonde-headed one, the little short one.
Yeah, Ivy Nile.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think she wrestled in the Olympics too. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Not a thing.
I'm
Just
going to
wondering
get up
why you
out
didn't
of
look that up.
I'm
either,
going to
that's
get
all.
out of this chair and I'm going to knock shit out of you before
Would you?
this show is over.
I'd
Hell
appreciate it.
yeah.
Give me a Denozo to the back of the head. That's all I need.
I'll put you in the damn hospital till after the New Year's.
Okay. Marva Scott. I'm skipping the name before that purposely.
Piss
Marva
me
Scott.
off.
I still don't know, but this whole list is like, I know it's first and all, but if you're trying to draw people to this Hall of Fame,
Right.
Let's start with
Marva
who is
Scott.
this?
Who
is that?
Who we on now?
Marva,
What
I
happened?
purpose-
What
I
happened
skipped it.
to? What
I
happened to
purposely
Medusa?
skipped it. I purposely skipped it.
Why?
Because I said so. Marva Scott.
No idea.
Sucks
She
when
was-
somebody throws it back at you, isn't it?
She was born
Pick it up
November.
and do it.
I don't need to pick it up. I
She
got
was-
my list in front of me.
She was born November 21st, 1937, in Decatur, Georgia.
He's got my back.
I'm trying not to get hit.
No.
How's that working for
She
you?
died in August 15, 2003.
Don't hit the microphone.
I'll try not to.
Meantime, Wiley's trying to stutter out the rest of the information.
I guess her finishing and signature moves was a cartwheel.
A finishing move was a cartwheel?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's some old school wrestling for you. Freaking amazing.
All right. The reason I skipped it is we kind of touched on it earlier, Medusa. Okay.
That's the one name that makes sense.
So that's kind of why I left it for last. I mean, and we'll talk about the two names that we all kind of talked about that we're kind of surprised were not part of it. But again, for first, I now get it. But Medusa, is her resume the kind that is a first woman, first ballot inductee because of her wrestling or because of what she did when she transitioned from WWE to WCW?
It's like mild, I would say partly because of the controversy of like the trash can thing, but she was like one of the first people to like really put like women's wrestling on the map because like when Raw started and stuff, it started to get a lot more popular, and like her versus Bull Nakano and all those kind of matches kind of like started the uproar in like women's wrestling, and they eventually started signing more and more. And
so you think that was part of what could be like a second Diva Revolution, more or less? And I say second because the first one was all the women back in the day. Now you have Medusa, and it's getting more and more popular at that time because of what she did, and more and more women got more involved. So maybe part of another resurgence of a women's revolution.
Yeah, I could see that.
There we go.
There's not much known about Marva Scott.
Okay.
She wrestled from the 50s to the late 70s. She has two sisters, Babs Wingo and Ethel Johnson. They both became pro wrestlers.
Didn't we say Ethel before? Didn't we say Ethel before?
Yeah.
Ethel Johnson.
Yeah.
She was the first African-American champ. So there you go. So
They're
now you got a
sisters.
relation. Yeah, there you go. That's something new. So
she wrestled, Marva Scott wrestled under the names Marva Scott, Marva Wingo, and African Black Cat.
Wow. Early Catwoman.
Didn't Marva Scott sing with Diana Ross?
Possibly.
I think it's a different one, though. But yeah.
Here's the real question. Who would you guys add to this first ballot Hall of Fame for any women?
Well, again, I think the names that we all bantered about was, of course, Moolah and Mae Young. But you're right. Who could, taking those two names away, for the reasons like Chief was talking about before when we came out of break because of backgrounds and other stories, who would you add to this that maybe is missing? What other firsts? Could we talk managers?
I would say Sensational Sherry.
Okay. Wrestler or as a valet or just as a personality within wrestling?
Personality as wrestling is
Okay.
overall.
That's a good one. Sensational Sherry's a good one. Matt, while Chief's churning and thinking about that one?
If you're going to put in somebody like Jazz, like for that era, Trish Stratus would have to go in. And Lita.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but the one thing that I'm looking at here, and I want to say this, Lita and Trish Stratus are still wrestling. Not week in and week out, but they're still having matches. And when we made the comment before, I started looking at the list here. This list, all these wrestlers are retired, are not wrestling anymore. So that might have been part of the criteria why Trish and Lita are not on this list. Not that I don't agree with you.
I mean, subsequently, I would think they would get in.
Eventually.
Yes. I
totally
agree
with it. Totally agree.
Kelly's retired. She should be in it too.
I look at don't make me cringe, man.
Stacy Keibler.
Stacy Keibler should be.
PTSD.
She's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So anyway,
those legs deserve to be in some form of Hall of Fame. Jesus.
Damn it.
I didn't touch it.
Yes, she did. It started crackling again. So.
So anyway, I think I think the trouble that Moolah had down in the South when she had her training facility down there, and Johnny Mae Young was there with her. I think the women have who trained there and might not have been paid properly. I think they, there may be some animosity into why Moolah and Mae Young didn't get in here.
5 syllables.
I think if you're honestly trying to like start a whole like women's Hall of Fame, you don't want to start your Hall of Fame off of going, who's this? Who's that? I never heard of this name before.
You got to start
Who's
it
that?
somewhere.
You do, but you also want to draw people into what you're doing.
They did with Medusa
And Luna.
and Luna.
And Jazz.
Luna, one of the best wrestlers, period.
Yeah.
She was a crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
she was a crazy. You know, when her and Kevin Sullivan, you know, were part of the group with Mark Lewin and the Purple Haze, you know, when Kevin was Purple Haze and had the spike and spiked Dusty in the heart, you know, it got crazy, man, in the NWA. Go back and I'm not saying this one week, but go back and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it drew fans. So
that was the good part of like old school wrestling, not the Bruno Sammartino stuff.
You know, I want to say something. If anybody hasn't done this, and I'm saying this, give yourself a Christmas present, okay, and go back on YouTube or Peacock. Thank you, and go listen to Dusty Rhodes' speech, his induction into the Hall of Fame. One of the best I ever heard.
Yeah. All right, with that, our number one is in the books. When we come back, we got WWE, we got results, we got so much stuff to pack in, and we got an extended list of birthdays. We got so much going on still to do in hour number 2. Thank you for watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. We will be right back.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit-cha-hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Go Live Vegas Studios, a unique multi-camera social media virtual content creators paradise. We offer high-end services using live streaming and film production for your personal or corporate, commercial or event and campaign needs. Pre-record or live stream to your audience on multiple social media platforms simultaneously. Fun and interactive with social media comments, phone lines, live remotes, audio Foley sounds, and Snapchat filters. Be creative, get recognized, and make money. We help you by providing an all in-house production team. Visit our website at golive.vegas.
All right, welcome back to hour number 2 is underway here. 702-329-6947. Press the number 1 to join us into the studio and tell us your thoughts on any of the topics we've covered. Twitter's been absolutely quiet today. Nothing coming in from Twitter. So hopefully the keyboard warriors on Twitter will be jumping on. We want to thank everybody for chiming in with their comments and thoughts. And also, as we wrap up the hour towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about our favorites, this and that. Matt's given us a couple of categories to think about. But a couple of things that we'll start with in the WWE report, and I think that the big one is what we were just talking about as we were coming back into break, is the Mandy Rose situation. I think when I saw the news that she lost the title, like many, I'm sure, I thought that was a sign that she was coming up to the main roster.
Me too.
So did I. I was talking about somebody like right before it got announced he was getting fired.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, Mandy finally lost the belt. And I was like, Toxic Attractions on their way up to the main roster.
Right. And then, of course, we find out it's because of personal. It's a page that she has with what's the word? The morality clause? Is that what?
Yeah.
What's
There's
in
a
their
morality clause in her contract because of Mattel mainly.
Okay. Begs the question, morality clause aside for a moment, as an independent contractor, though, don't you have the right to work for anybody that you want to? I realize you can still be released and not retained by a company even as an IC. However, I'm just wondering if there's a gray area there, and I don't know if there's an attorney that's watching that can maybe even clarify this, but I think, I don't know, as soon as I saw that, we look good in dark colors. Thanks, Jennifer. 90 days, AEW, Impact, someone's going to sign her.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Don't you think?
I think she'll be back in WWE. It'll be like the whole Bryan Danielson thing when he choked out, was it Justin Roberts with his tie during that whole thing, and he was gone for a couple months, and they were like, let's let this blow over.
Because she just signed a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
She has 2 more years left on it.
So
I think she'll be back before her 90 days is even up.
That would have been the bigger bidding war, not the MJF bidding war. Her bidding war would have been bigger.
Yeah, possible.
It was kind of funny, though, because the whole paid subscription thing, when she got released, she raised the price of it. And she got so many new followers, she made $60,000 in a day.
Jeez.
She doesn't even need to come back.
They said she was making more off that page than she was in WWE.
Not surprising.
No.
Now, another piece of news broke this past week. This for the second time, I believe, if I read the reports correctly. Matt Riddle, there was a reason why he was written off TV after the beatdown from Solo. Was apparently he failed his second, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
The second. Per the second drug test per WWE's clause. Thoughts on that, guys?
They're not announcing it. That's the weird thing. They're supposed to announce it according to the corporate website. They're supposed to announce these suspensions, and someone said, I read that Riddle just took time off because he's going through this big divorce and he wants to get his head straight.
I read that, and some are saying that some are saying that because of the stress and everything around that, this possibly happened. And I can't speak to it. I've not done that lifestyle. I just want to wish him well. I want him to get healthy because he's a hell of a ring performer.
Yeah, he's good. I heard he developed a habit of smelling certain stuff and really likes the scent of it. They said it was either rehab or fired, so hopefully he picked rehab.
Kind of like the Jeff Hardy thing.
Interesting. Chief, any thoughts on Matt?
Best of luck to you.
There you go.
It's just kind of crazy, the whole Mandy Rose thing, too. They fired her, but, when a whole sex tape came out with Brad Maddox, Xavier Woods, and Paige, nobody got fired for that. And that was a lot vulgar than
Vince McMahon era.
But then again, that was a one-time thing that was captured on video with those three, yes? There weren't other tapes that I recall with the three of them.
There was just the one tape, but what's worse, posting a picture in a thong or jizzing on one of the current championship belts? I don't know.
I think
one's got DNA on it.
I think
that went to other people.
I think the interesting thing is, and I'll just say it this way: we don't know exactly what is in the wrestlers at WWE, AEW, or Impact. We don't know what's in their contracts, what they can do and what they can't do. All right?
They seem to change their mind all the time.
We're speculating. Okay? We don't know. Okay? And none of us are lawyers. So in that sense, if there's something in a person's contract that says, hey, you can't do this, or you're fine lining it, well, WWE's got the right to say, hey, you're no longer employed.
So I agree with that.
All right.
But as an employer, would you not go to that employee first and sit down and say, look, you're gray lining it.
Maybe they had.
You're right. Maybe we don't know. So that's why I'm asking the question.
Exactly.
But that's why we're talking about it, is because we're just having conversation. I would think as an ownership, you would say, hey, this is pretty close to something that's in your contract, so here's your options.
Let's put it this way.
They never gave her options, though.
Let's put it this way. I personally wouldn't spend my money to go on that site.
Well,
wait,
sure.
let me finish.
Okay.
If I want to see that type of stuff, I can go home in my bedroom and look at it and not have to pay for it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't give a shit what she does.
Mhm.
Okay, that's her life.
Mhm.
Well, for actions like that, there's consequences,
Mhm.
and the consequences came out from the WWE, and she got fired.
Again, I agree, but as an employer, seems to be no period of conversation because she lost the belt Tuesday. She's fired Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
So-
they never gave her the option to be like, hey, we found this page. Pictures got leaked all over the internet.
And here's your choices.
So
Either
there
you-
was no like take down this page
or we'll
and keep
fire
your
you.
job
Right.
or you're going to get fired. It was just,
Right.
you're gone.
I'm going to play the devil advocate.
Okay.
I'm going to say Triple H and Shawn Michaels called her into the office before Tuesday
Okay.
of the day of the shows and told her she was going to lose the belt.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Which they did. I
all
read
right.
that was part
and
of it.
then the aftermath was those pictures, and I haven't seen them, and I don't care to see them, but supposedly...
I'll show you after the show.
I don't give a shit. You can keep them
Giggity.
yourself if you watch that type of stuff. That's your business. But
Go
what
ahead.
I'm saying...
For research purposes only.
But
for the show.
what I'm saying is, if they told her, we don't know if they told her or not, when they told her,
Mhm.
okay? But in any job in corporate America, they can come in and say to you, hey, you know what? You're done. Pack your desk. You're out of here.
As a W-2
And they
employee,
can do that.
As a W-2 employee, you're correct. You have the right to work state, and you can be fired for any reason.
Thank you.
However, independent contractors, that's why I said I don't know if there's
You know what? They're not independent contractors. They've signed a contract.
As an independent contractor, do they have health
independent-
insurance?
An independent contractor.
I know what an IC is.
Well,
they're not getting
I
W-2s.
They're
You
getting
show me
paid. How do you know they're not getting W-2s?
Because
have you talked to the WWE and asked
They
them?
got to pay their own. You got a fucking friend
Have
in
you,
WWE.
have you asked them?
Why don't you get your friend on the phone? Let's ask him.
No.
Well, why not?
Because
Chief, they're not
because
employees.
my friend is private,
Okay,
sir.
that's fine.
Not public.
Independent contractors are not paid W-2s. That's why they are an independent contractor. They do not get a W-4. They get a W-9.
Can we go on with
no,
something else?
you made your point. Now I'm going to make mine. So
you never mind. Go ahead.
This ain't a one-person argument.
Let me go sit on the couch.
Given the fact as an independent contractor, like you said, Matt, you have to pay your own way. You have to do all of that stuff. You are an independent contractor. Now, there are agreements in an IC contract as a hired IC that their job can be terminated at any time under whatever rules.
So let
But
me
it is
ask you
not-
a question, honestly. Is Matt Riddle paying for his rehab?
That's a different- that's a different thing, 'cause the
that's
company-
covered under medical.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The
They, are
hell
not,
it
they are
ain't.
not paying into a medical plan.
The hell
like,
it ain't.
They are not paying into a medical plan
if
like
you-
my wife
if
is.
you look at your
Hey,
medical
you don't let me
plan-
finish.
if
You don't let me finish.
If you look at your medical plan,
let somebody else talk in an argument, Chief.
well, you want to step on me? I'm gonna step on you. Yeah, you are.
Can we go to break? Because for the first time ever, I'm really pissed right now. Let's go to break.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
What's up, man? It's your boy, 752. I'm here with my man, Big G. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Falcons Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. This is my new tag team partner, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hi, I'm Sean Bavaria. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition. And we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
Odd, I think we got the piece in the studio for like a second. Jesus. I didn't know whether to call the mental asylum, a cardiologist, or AARP. But
Matt was about ready to break out his handcuffs on this one.
almost did too.
Spray.
I was like, what the hell?
We got him. Lock, stock, and
Swerve,
barrel.
baby. Swerve,
got him, baby.
Swerved you, baby. Welcome to the world of pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway,
yeah,
we're going to get back to
sure, yeah,
roll with it.
No, we're just. Listen, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a practicing attorney. I'm not HR, but I've managed a lot of people. I've been an independent contractor,
And he didn't stay in the Holiday Inn Express last
and
night.
I didn't stay. No, far from it. You know, as a Holiday Inn Select last night, I woke
Holiday
up
Inn Express.
the commercials. But as an independent contractor, you are responsible for your own expenses. You are working for yourself. Yes, you do take direction from the employer that hires you. But as we discussed during the break, which I didn't think about, was the Mattel contract. All these figures that the wrestlers have out there is a contract with Mattel. And now you think about Mattel's wholesomeness as a company and the products they put out. There's a rub there that, that's an issue.
So the figures that we buy and get the wrestlers to sign, that's Mattel?
Yeah, they're all made by Mattel.
Okay.
And they get a piece of the pie, so they have to contract with. I think they do have like a separate. I don't know if it's part of the WWE deal about the Mattel stuff, but they have some kind of agreement with Mattel to get like royalties from the figures and stuff. So,
Well, yeah, probably like the
there's got to be
merchandise.
some kind of morality clause in there too. Of
wow.
All I remember is back in the day, Ben Roethlisberger, the retired quarterback from the Steelers, when he got injured, his second year in riding a motorcycle.
Mhm.
And he was fined and suspended because a morality clause was written specifically about him riding a motorcycle because, athletes, you can't put yourself in a position.
Like Tatis Jr.
Right. You can't put yourself in a position of harming yourself.
Yeah.
And that was something specific in Roethlisberger's contract. Now, he is not an independent contractor, obviously. He is a W-2 employee, as they call it. But there's a lot. I know there's a lot of things we don't know. We're not there. We know that. And that's why this show allows us the opportunity to talk about it and view our opinions, even if you don't agree with them, Chief. But I love it, Chief. But no, seriously, that's what makes our show great is we can talk about these things. And unless Mandy calls us or somebody involved and says, no, this is Mandy Rose or this is Shawn Michaels, here's what really went down.
Yeah.
It's all talk for us to chatter about.
But like I brought up during break.
Yeah.
With China and
Oh, yeah.
Sable and
Great point.
Maria.
Oh, the Playboy stuff.
The Playboy stuff. That was back years ago, and unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot of that because I was gone elsewhere. But what's the difference with them being in Playboy and what Mandy?
Playboy and WWE had like a direct relationship.
Yeah, how many
because
times did
WWE was trying to
Hugh Hefner
be
showed
a
up,
more
right?
edgy thing. They were like, "Hey, we'll have I think they were to have like 2 girls in the magazine every year or something for a couple of years.
Plus, didn't Hefner show up to a pay-per-view or something at one point, either
When did
WrestleMania or something?
WrestleMania.
He might have been a special Raw guest host during that era.
That's when they had like the Playboy pillow match or something at
Yeah.
WrestleMania or something.
But but getting back to it, what's and I understand what you're saying, and I totally get it, but what's the difference with them being a Playboy, Playboy was sold over the counter in the, at the newsstands in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was also a different era, and now everyone's super butthurt and politically correct in 2022.
Right.
And they're more family friendly now than they were back in 2003.
So, in that aspect, maybe Vince needs to come back and straighten that part of it out.
I just... he would probably want to do more.
That's why I brought it up.
But
you'd be like, Mandy, you should have posed like this. I'll take the pictures.
No, he would have been on the same page as releasing her because of the backlash from sponsors and Wall Street.
Maybe.
I think he would have been. He would have had to
he might have gotten outside pressure to do something, at least suspend her.
And that's why I brought it up.
But here's the thing: I think with the Playboy magazines, like we're talking about, WWE was behind those.
Oh yeah, they
do
supported it. Yes,
because remember how many? I mean, Selena Vega was let go because she wouldn't give up her
Twitch.
the Twitch, and that whole and AJ Styles stood up and basically said, "F you, I'm not stopping that stuff." So I think the difference is WWE is behind the pictures now.
Yep.
Racy, otherwise, I think part of it is what you just said, politically incorrect.
Yeah.
How will people accept things? You have the sponsors putting pressure on.
Mm-hmm.
The more wholesomeness of wrestling today versus the 80s Attitude Era. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. The one thing that I would just want to know, Chief, and guys, and we talked about it before break, was she approached by somebody in management to give them an option?
Well, they said this was all last minute. They didn't decide on Sunday
I
that
get
she was
that.
going to drop the belt on Tuesday to Roxanne, because Roxanne wasn't supposed to win the title for another
month
till New Year's Eve on the 11th.
And I'll throw it this way. I wonder if Stephanie might have been the one who possibly talked to Mandy about the firing.
Well, Scott put in the chat room, he says it's Fox Network, and that's a big difference because during all that Attitude Era stuff, they were on USA. So that's different. So that's okay. And Brandy says that the difference is WWE isn't profiting over Mandy's website. It's just her alone. They're not profiting directly, and I agree with that. However, the more popular she is on whatever she does, how many more people are going to buy merchandise? And like we always talk about, doesn't WWE make the majority of their money from merchandise?
Yeah.
But it's like Matt said, she did something on her website, and she made what, $60,000 in one day.
Somebody said she whatever that. I don't even remember what the pay site's name is, but I guess she was charging $25 a month to get onto it, and then once she got released, she raised it up to $30.
See, that's wrong. That's wrong.
That is wrong.
And I guess once it caught the news, everybody started looking for it, and enough people joined that she made $60,000 in 24 hours.
But that may not have been her decision. She could have had somebody in her ear saying, as a publicist, hey, you know what? Now's a great time to increase your price. You're going to get all these eyeballs on you, blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's why. Go ahead, Chief.
No, I was going to say I'd be more than happy to give my brothers here a $20 bill than give whatever her price is for her thing. I don't need that.
Okay, I get that.
But I'll say this, and I'll reply to some of the comments. If you look at some of the wrestling costumes that the women wear today, doesn't leave a whole lot for the human eyeball. That's why I call it hubcaps. What's the other one? What's the other one we had a good laugh on?
Thrustbusters?
Yeah, Thrustbusters. Yeah.
It's the only pieces that I saw, because I didn't get on her site that was available. She was in a pool where she was up to here in the water, and as I looked at the videos, at no time was I able to detect, other than when she got out of the pool and she had her bikini bottom on, even though it was a G-string or whatever it was. At that little video that I saw, there was no flash of her breast from what I saw in what was posted. That doesn't mean it's not there in a longer version.
No.
However, no, you can look at it's not on her page. This was a leaked little video from a pool. Now, maybe it's a snippet of what was actually on her page. I don't know. But, now you got discussions of free enterprise and all this other crap that can go on and on and on and on and on. Will she come back?
Isn't it a vicious cycle?
Of course it is. You're right on. And I think Brandy put in here something about the fact that her page was a little more racier.
Yeah, more than lingerie.
Okay.
That's a great comment right there.
Mandy, right. Okay, yeah. So we talked about it. Mandy Rose was positioned to come up to be a great heel on the main roster. But her page may be racier than others, but I can guarantee you, other than Chief's OnlyFans page,
Yes.
there's a lot of racy
Lonely
stuff
fan.
on OnlyFans.
And I only
There
got
is.
one fan.
Yeah.
And then,
The Lonely Fan.
the OnlyFans page is not G-rated, folks. It is as bad as what we're talking about with Mandy's page. It's just another platform to do that stuff. So it may be racier, but like Chief said, if you want to see that stuff in the privacy of your own home, guess what? You can do it for free, which is just as racy.
Exactly.
So is the issue because she's charging to see this stuff? Is she banking on her popularity? Absolutely. You know what? If we were in that position, wouldn't we all try to take advantage of our level of fame before it fades?
Hey, you know what? I think we had a good Chiefs rant today, folks.
It lasted 45 minutes.
You know, I think we had a good Chiefs rant today.
But now the wrestling question is, what happens to Gigi and JC?
You know what?
Bring them up to the main roster at this point.
They're professional wrestlers. They have their own lives. I agree with what Aaron just said. Bring them up to the main roster. That's what needs to happen.
I think this whole situation is going to end like the whole Daniel Bryan thing when they first came up to the main roster, when like the whole Nexus thing happened.
Yeah.
And he like choked out Justin Roberts unplanned with his tie.
Yeah.
So they fired him and brought him back a couple months later. I'm sure they're just going to be like, hey, lay low for a while.
Well, look what they did with Lashley in 24 hours last week. I saw it. I commented on it already.
They can hang back in the buffet and stuff and eat. Hang back there for a couple of weeks.
True.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on because listen, it's an interesting topic from all the different perspectives.
And you know what?
But
you know what? We got them.
We did.
Me and you.
That's twice we
got them.
We've gotten them twice this month.
I know.
It's all good.
They don't know what to expect now.
I know.
Kendo stick.
I didn't touch it this time. I wasn't really.
If I looked like Mandy, I would charge myself to
Great comment, Ken. Absolutely. Great stuff there. Very good. All right, couple of things. Let's go back into the WWE report. Number one, first of all, Jim Duggan tackles and detains armed home. I didn't see that. What happened with that? Jim Duggan home invasion in his own home?
Yeah, somebody tried to break in and like do a home invasion in his house, and he like tackled him and held him down until the cops got there.
Good for him.
Yeah, but did you see the latest? The historian here showed me a T-shirt yesterday of Jim Duggan's. He put up on eBay for $1,000.
Was it the shirt he wore
No,
tackling
it was.
this?
It was an original '92 Rumble shirt.
Is it signed or something?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
$1,000.
Damn.
It's all about the money today, folks. It's not about the people.
So he just made a case for Mandy Rose making $60,000 in one freaking day.
Oh, you got that, didn't you?
I got that. All right. So good for Jim. I'm glad he's not hurt.
That's
nothing.
called a
Nothing.
swerve.
I know. All right. Thoughts on Top Dollar's botch last night on SmackDown?
That was hilarious.
Where are we at now?
Oh, I'm just kind of jumping around. This is at the
around.
bottom of the WWE report.
Thoughts on Top
I think you were asleep.
Who the hell's Top Dollar?
Heavy guy in Hit Row.
The guy who did the WWE treasure hunt and stuff.
Okay.
Let me tell you that I saw.
I'm looking forward to season 2 of that.
They had a botch.
Oh my God, he's got it. Watch it. Matt is showing it to Chief. Is it season 2 been announced yet? Because I love that show.
They're filming it.
Are they? That's good. First of all, he's lucky he didn't. He's lucky he didn't kill himself. And we've seen many botches over the years of people trying to go. Did it?
Oh, it freaking moved over.
Oh, it did.
It's okay. It's all right.
We've seen. I mean,
Yeah,
Brie
Folks,
Bella
I'll
had
be
a-
back with you in a minute.
Chief stepping out to the iPad. Brie Bella had a bad botch.
Oh yeah, they've all.
Right?
Everybody's done it.
Enzo,
Oh,
he
Enzo
hurt his
was
neck with
yeah.
a botch. So, right. Brandy says that was a horrible botch. Glad it didn't end differently. You're damn right. Because first of all, listen, I know.
He's lucky he didn't break his neck.
And his back and his legs. Now, give credit where credit is due for the guys outside the ring. Okay? Wow. He didn't touch anybody. Maybe he bumped across one of the guys.
He grazed a couple with his legs, but they sold
Yeah,
it.
but
They sold it like
they sold it like
I would be like, I'm not falling for this idiot. No way.
So thank God. Listen, there's a reason. There's a reason Andre the Giant never did suicide bombs. There's a reason why he never went to the top rope. Okay, stay in your lane. Let your partner do all the flippy shit. Oh my God.
Top Dollar, I got some advice for you. Keep the cool shit to Ricochet. He's on the same show.
Or even your tag team partner who's way smaller than you.
You know, I got a comment. When Ernie Ladd introduced Bobo Brazil into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Ernie Ladd, and this is in reference to Andre.
Yeah.
Ernie Ladd said, folks, when I walked into Madison Square Garden, and I was 6'9", and I was the seventh smallest person in there. They ain't gonna do stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Imagine Andre the Giant trying to jump over the top rope.
No, but
Oh my God, no.
But at CAC a couple of years ago, you guys know who Frank the Tank is, yes? Here in town?
I remember
Okay.
that.
Oh yeah.
Right? You
Oh,
were
yeah.
you were so
we were there.
So I was on commentary. I think I had Johnny with me, and I don't know if Matt Robles. I don't know if he was on it, but I know it was me and Johnny.
MK.
Was he on? I don't know if he was on with me, but I know me and
Or was it the female?
No, I know it was me and Johnny. MK may have been in the back or whatever it was,
Okay.
but we were on the mic. And Frank the Tank, ladies and gentlemen, he's 400. He's pushing 500 pounds. He's about, what, 6'3", maybe?
Yeah. Nice fella, too.
Oh, hell of a...
Let's
listen,
preface it. Nice fella.
He's a karaoke singing
Oh, God,
champion,
yeah.
and he goes to... But
yeah.
he takes off... Now, he took off from the ring rope where we were sitting in commentary going opposite us.
As I call it, they launch.
But he didn't go over the top, though. He went through the second and third rope. He went through it.
Yeah.
Okay? Give him credit for number one for realizing he wasn't going to go up and over the third rope. He knew his limits.
Yes.
Okay? And, of course, we played it up like the ground shook and we jumbled and bumbled like an earthquake was going on. But you don't see guys that big doing stuff like that because it's not in their wheelhouse.
No.
No.
Top Dollar's lucky, like you said, Chief. He didn't break his neck, his back, his leg, anything. And the guys that they didn't get hurt trying to save him, which they could not have done anything to help the guy.
Yeah.
You know, I call it flippy shit, and you all know that. Some of the people can do it quite well, and you've made reference to a gentleman.
Ricochet?
Yes, sir. He's one of the best I've ever seen. But there comes a point in time where I think all wrestlers need to know their limits.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I watched a move performed by one of the Young Bucks, and there's no doubt in my mind that he got hurt by doing a flippy move.
They said, I heard that this morning, that he was hurt.
And you know what? You got to know your capabilities. And if you're an independent contractor, you're taking your hands in your life when you do that type of stuff.
Speaking of botches, there wasn't really like flippy shit to it, but the botch between Alexa Bliss and Bayley on Raw, they tried to do like a Hurricane Run and they both landed on their freaking heads, that was pretty scary.
Jeez. So what causes that? Is it slippery ropes? Is it not enough practice time on your moves, so to speak? Or is it just happenstance?
So it's like a freak accident or too sweaty or it could be a lot of things.
Top Dollar just shouldn't be doing that. That's
No,
not his, that's not his wheelhouse.
I'll tell you.
That's not his thing.
One of the best independents out here on the West Coast is Matt Vandergriff.
Yeah, I saw the message come up. Yeah, he's crazy shit, man.
Matt is good. Brett's good also. Okay, but I know both of them, and they do a lot of in-ring work.
Absolutely.
On those type of moves so that they can perform them.
You have to practice it. You just can't say, oh, I'm going to do this. And Brandy brings up a great point. In that same match, when the ladies got involved, Zelina Vega took a bad bump on a botch outside with all the activity. She also, listen, it's one of those things we know this is the trials and tribulations of being a pro wrestler. You have those things happen, and you've got to rely on others to save you when they can. But when you do what he did, or when Brie caught her foot, like it was a match like she after she came back and she caught her foot on the second rope and she literally went head first.
Look at Moxley's ear last night on AEW.
I saw that. How did he? I saw the result.
Sammy ripped out the
biting
earring.
on it.
And Sammy ripped out the earring.
He got hungry.
Christ. That's like when Randy Orton put the screwdriver in Matt Hardy's ear and stuff during that
Jeff,
one. Twisting the crap out of it. But anyway, interesting stuff. So hopefully and thankfully everybody's all good. Another new piece of news.
Talk to me.
Uncle Howdy made an appearance last night on SmackDown.
Hey, so who is that? That guy that had the handlebar mustache?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is it?
It wasn't revealed.
I have no idea, honestly.
Initial thoughts when he first appeared was, and hopefully I haven't heard an update, Barry Windham. It had a lot of look of Barry. Do we have an update? No, Barry.
I have not.
Okay, hopefully he's doing well.
I'll see if I can find out.
Because somebody pulled up an old picture of Barry when he had the mustache and all that and said, man, that looks like Barry Windham. But now, of course, okay, so Scott is chiming in thinking it's Bo Dallas.
That's what I was going to say.
And I think a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are. And in the laughter, when he made an appearance, the laughter that you heard, in my opinion, was a recording of Bray's laughter. And all that person was doing the fake laughing movement,
of Bray.
Of Bray. And Bray, it's because you could hear Bray's fiend in there just a little bit when he was
So when they said it was like all the characters, I just assumed it was like all Bray Wyatt.
All the different
I just thought it was like 7 forms of Bray Wyatt, honestly. But now I don't know.
And we're talking about it. I'm so glad to see Eli Drake getting some push in the WWE.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Eli Drake, for those who don't know, who they don't, is LA Knight. So just to kind of make a connection for everybody.
What's this scroller about Dolph Ziggler never being allowed to wear certain ring gear again? I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't know.
Do you know anything about that, Matt?
I'll look it up right now.
Maybe it's too risque.
I don't think we have to worry about it with Dolph.
William Regal has agreed to terms and will return to WWE in a vice president role, which will start in 2023. I think that's because his contract with AEW actually runs out in March, I believe. And they've agreed to something for him to take over at some point?
In January.
Oh, in January?
Yeah, he can start in January.
So they agreed. Okay.
But he cannot appear on TV. He will not be on TV at all.
At all?
WWE's gain is AEW's loss.
Yeah. So that's great for behind the scenes and giving.
There you go. There's Ricochet's push. William Regal.
I hope Bo Dallas trends big after Uncle Howdy makes an appearance last night. So I hope it is. Cena, as was announced at the end of SmackDown last night, he will be Kevin Owens' partner to take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn on the December 30th edition of SmackDown. We touched on that.
This can go in any direction.
I just think they're setting it up for Kevin and Sami to go after the tag titles.
You think Sammy's going to turn?
Eventually, I think so. If they want to go for the belts.
I was telling him because he missed it, but during the promo,
I was sleeping.
Sammy said, we're talking about KO, like Roman said, we have a KO problem, which is a bloodline problem. Then Sammy was going off saying, I'm his only friend, and Roman went.
Yeah, it kind of perked him up.
Yeah, and then Sammy goes, I misspoke. I meant to say, I was his only friend.
He caught himself.
Yeah, so.
Still leading to a lot of questions. But now the Uso boys, the one that didn't like him now likes him, and the other one who did like him doesn't like him now.
No,
More
they still like him. Jimmy just said to Roman, like, I love my family. I like Sammy, but whatever you decide, Us, I'm on board because I love my family.
All right.
And you guys see Solo? He did the one.
Did he?
He went. Yeah, he actually did the one and everything.
All right.
Solos. What do you call it? Solos, the X Factor?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here's one I kind of touched on. Reports say Triple H has been underwhelmed by some of the returns this year. Okay. So
thanks, Jacob.
So here's my thought on that. If he's underwhelmed by the people he's brought back, doesn't he have control with creative to not be underwhelmed with his own people that he brought back? Am I seeing some irony here?
What does underwhelmed mean?
I think they mean he's underwhelmed by the crowd responses.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that
because there's a lot
in
of them that like nobody cared.
I didn't see it as crowd response, but maybe that could be the response to the audience. I don't know.
It's like Strowman's been trending water since he
day one.
got there. Yeah,
so. That I agree with.
Like when Emma came out, there was crickets. Tegan Knox, crickets.
Yeah.
I think the only ones anybody really cared about were Cross and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone's like,
Maybe. Go ahead.
So the question is, who else can he bring back?
Is there anybody else out there worth bringing back?
At this point in time.
Is there anybody
Chief's
else?
favorite wrestler of all time,
Bruno?
Matt Carr.
Bruno Sammartino?
I thought you were going to say Eva Marie.
Bruno Sammartino?
God, I might see her in like an hour or two.
Matt Cardona and Deonna Purrazzo.
Bruno Sammartino?
And Chelsea.
Bob Backlund?
Boring.
Bob Backlund?
Horrible.
Thomas, you and I were talking here.
Yeah.
So you have Matt Cardona, you have Chelsea Green.
Maybe Deonna Purrazzo.
I think out of just of those three names, I think Matt Cardona would be the only one that could raise the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
That place would freaking go crazy.
But he's got to come back as Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder.
I don't think Triple H would bring him back as Ryder. He'd come back as Cardona. He'd come in as Cardona.
Yeah, I don't.
There's too much money with Cardona and that Ryder.
Especially with what he's done since leaving as well. All right, last topic. Go ahead.
You know what interesting thought just hit? Rhino and what's his name lost the tag belts?
Yep.
Who was it? Rhino and
Heath
who?
Slater. Heath.
Could they come back to WWE?
I mean, if they're not playing with the contract situation with Impact
I'm
is,
just saying, they've both been there.
They have, but you can only bring in so many people and push so many people at the same time.
Right.
There's got to be a point, like,
you're
just bringing back people for catering at some point.
Didn't I read what's his name? The bald-headed guy from
Eric Young?
He's going back.
Yeah, he was coming back.
Yeah, Nikki Cross is already teasing a sanity
Yeah.
thing too.
Brandy says she thinks that some storylines are just too long, like the one with Dexter Loomis. Now that's one that has been crap in my mind. And
hopefully
I think,
it ends on Raw in this ladder match.
And I think they're doing Miz a disservice here by putting him in that kind of goofy thing. And reports there is that for whatever the reason, Miz may be slipping down the notch in Triple H's mind and is not being pushed more seriously like he was previously.
I wonder if it's got to do with his children growing up and Maurice wanting to really start having a family life.
Could be.
Even then, that was like one of the big returns too, was Johnny Gargano, and he's like kind of stuck in this stupid storyline too.
Exactly. Brandy thinks Cardona will be at the Rumble. That's an interesting point.
I hope so.
All right. I want to get into, I know we still haven't touched NXT Deadline and AEW, and there's all sorts of stuff that we really haven't talked about. But believe it or not, fellas, we're down about 15 minutes.
We started like 10 minutes late.
I know, but these guys have to get back over to the mall, so I want to try to do what I can. I mean, you and I can continue if they have to leave to get to the mall to do what they have to do.
Look at Scott's comment there.
Nobody would care about Cardona. He is not a household name. Only hardcore fans, which is a small percentage of WWE fans. So maybe nostalgically, if he comes back as Matt, they still might remember him as Zach and hook onto the nostalgia part. But he's right. I mean, with what he's done with a lot of the hardcore stuff.
He's such a small name that go look at his pop when he won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, and nobody knows him.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's okay.
Well, because we're talking about Cardona coming back, and then Scott made that comment saying no one would care about Cardona coming back.
I don't care about
He would get one of the biggest pops of any return in years.
I don't care about Cardona.
Reports say Sasha Banks negotiated her departure from WWE months ago, and one of the hang-ups as to why there was no contract signed, she believes she should be making the same money as Becky Lynch.
And Charlotte.
And Charlotte.
That would make sense. Why would they give her less money than those two? They came up at the same time, and they're both just as popular.
So let me ask the question. Could Uncle be negotiating contracts for her on her behalf?
Snoop?
On his good name?
I doubt it.
No. Why not? What makes you say you doubt it? Why?
Because he's got nothing to do with her career. He's there for her, but I don't think he's involved with
He's got too many other projects.
Yeah, he's like. Are you saying he negotiated her contract with New Japan?
Are you saying that he doesn't know anything about professional wrestling?
He is a fan of wrestling.
He's a fan, but I don't think he knows
I don't know how much he would know.
He's been to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but he has agents.
So's Matt.
So have I.
So have I.
But I mean, in the ring.
No, he's never been in the ring, so
he
that's why
performed like her entrance
exactly.
at WrestleMania.
Right. So
but he has agents.
So what I'm saying is, he has people who can talk to other people. In this case, he may have some people that talk to New Japan.
I'd be curious to know if Sasha has actual agents.
He could have had like his lawyer go talk to like WWE or something. But the way you're saying it, you're making it sound like Snoop Dogg walked into WWE.
Thank you for clarifying it.
Like, I'm sure he'd be like,
relax.
Here's my agent or lawyer, whatever you want to use.
Right.
I guarantee Snoop Dogg didn't walk into WWE headquarters
I'm not
into Triple H's office and be like, we're going to negotiate
I'm not
Sauce's
saying
contract.
that. But what I am saying is, could he have possibly picked up the telephone and called and said, hey, my niece wants to get into professional wrestling. Is there anything that you can do to help her out? That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure that helped her getting a foot in the door somewhere, either training or something.
It's like The Rock's daughter getting her foot in the door down at the training center also.
That's two
Yeah, that's totally different.
things.
That's apples and oranges.
No.
That's apples and oranges,
It's just
buddy.
two people.
Lineage versus non-lineage, though.
Thank you.
Rapper's cousin versus
No.
Mount Rushmore
Forget-
wrestler's daughter.
He said it right. I'm just throwing it out there.
G-Scoop, he breaks a good point here. Mercedes will be just fine.
Well, yeah, I guess she's getting that
Oh,
nice
yeah.
deal.
So
She's
here,
got that nice deal with
we're-
Japan. And
we're not talking about worrying about her financial.
she's going to have a
pocket.
big match with Kyrie and
So
Stardom.
she'll be fine. That's her real name. Sasha is. All right. Okay, so G-Scoop and Scott and Brandy, they're all talking about
Cardona.
Cardona.
According to
while we're on.
rumors, she might make like some kind of ultimate debut somewhere too.
Oh, yeah.
Would it make an impact?
No,
Something like that.
it's going to blow up.
All right.
It's going to go boom.
Let's do this. What do you say we shift into 2 weeks of birthdays? And we come back from that. Why don't we do our best of little list?
Yeah.
And by that point, we should be close to the top of the hour.
Happy birthday to you.
So if you are celebrating
Happy
a birthday
to you.
today
Happy
through the end of the
birthday,
year,
Happy birthday. Happy
December 31st.
birthday to you.
You are celebrating a birthday with these tons of people. Here we go. We got a long list. Today, December 17th, one of the best characters I remember in a long time, Eugene. He was really good. The savant of wrestling. He would come out as all the different wrestlers that
Yeah.
he studied. Very special birthday to announce. Our good friend Jennifer McCord's brother Mark is celebrating a birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday to Mark as well. Absolutely. Now, December 18th.
Yo, Mark, happy birthday.
December 18th, tomorrow. This man is going to open up a can of whoop-ass birthday cake. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then Rob Van Dam, RVD, and one aforementioned Trish Stratus. December 19th, perhaps one of the greatest interviewers of all time and a great character, Mr. Mean Gene Okerlund. The 20th, Armando Estrada. The 21st, Mauro Ranallo, Primo Colon, Oni Larkin. I'm just going to say Otis because I don't even want to bother his last name. And Dana Warrior. December 22nd, Mr. Luke Gallows and Sin Cara. December 23rd, the great Muda and somebody we mentioned early on, Mr. Jamie Noble. Officially hung up his boots. Christmas Eve, next Saturday the 24th. Chris Hero. Cassius Ona. Cassius? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Like Cassius Ali?
Yes.
Muhammad Ali. December 25th. Oh, here's a guy we haven't really spent any time talking. Rusev. Miro.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's being totally wasted on AEW's, and he's ready to come back.
No creative plans for him.
Raka Khan, December 26th. Midian, boy, I remember him from the Brood and all of that stuff. 27th of December, Bart Gunn, Demolition Axe. The aforementioned China, Rosita, Goldberg, and Cesaro. Thank you for putting Cesaro down and not Claudio Postinoli or whatever.
Castagnoli.
December 28th.
He can pronounce it now. We're just doing it for fun.
I can't pronounce it. December 28th, Lanny Poffo, Rachel Evers. December 29th, the aforementioned Justin Roberts. December 30th, Eddie Edwards, Ray Phoenix. Is it Paco? PCO? PCO. And on New Year's Eve, here we go. I don't know any of these people, but maybe one or two.
Good.
Brittany, Matt Cross, Danny Birch, Marcus Owens, Sakota, and Max Mini. Does that mean there's a Mini Max?
Yes.
Happy birthday to all of you. Between now and the end of the year, please, please, please celebrate safely. Enjoy your day.
Ooh, you guys are in trouble.
What?
You guys forgot somebody.
Who? I'm just reading the list. Who do we forget?
Wasn't on
Who
my
did Chief
list.
forget?
December
Wasn't
28th
on
is
my
the
list.
birthday of the greatest general manager in wrestling, Jenny Santana.
Oh, it's not on the list.
Not on my list.
Congratulations,
Happy
Jenny, on your
birthday,
black,
and congratulations.
Good on winning your black belt.
And I think
black
we,
belt.
I
On your
think
black
we-
Bart?
I think we told her to send it to us too.
That is true. I think we
I
did.
did
We
say
have-
black belt, yeah.
I think we did ask her to send us a reminder, but she got her black belt last night. She's been a little
Congrats.
busy post UWW 3.
I do have a shout out myself.
Okay.
Happy birthday to Nick Dinsmore.
Eugene, for those who don't know. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. He was such a great character, though.
I love
Came out, didn't he? At one point, part of his line was that he was like Eric Bischoff's nephew or
Yes,
something.
that's
Yeah.
how they debuted him, yeah.
I remember he came out
He did
once.
it as a favor for his sister.
Oh,
Erica.
that's right. I remember he came out doing Hogan one time, right? I mean, he was
Oh,
just
he did everybody. He
Didn't
did Rock Bottom, Stunner.
Stone Cold was it Stone Cold or The Rock that came out and rescued him?
The Rock.
I was going to say, I think it was The Rock.
Yeah, it was Rock.
Yeah, that was
a great storyline.
fantastic.
All right. So let's get into some of our best of. I mean, I know we haven't really covered a whole lot on the backside, but I think the best of.
That's fine.
And by the way, heartfelt thoughts and prayers goes out to the family of DJ Twitch, who took his own life apparently this past week. So we want to send our thoughts and prayers to his family. So okay, so where do you want to start, Mr. Matt? I'll have. Why don't you pick a topic? So this is our best ofs.
What was your best match of 2022?
Wow, Mr. Historian, I'll defer to you first.
Gee, thanks.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I would say Cody and Seth inside Hell in a Cell.
Could it be anything?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just WWE or AEW.
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to go UWW. And I'm going to go to the best out of three falls match last week between Tessa and Miranda. That was just, hard hitting, no holds barred in a way. They spilled out off the 10-foot stage into the crowd. It was just, when I got done calling that match, I needed a nap. I was tired. So I'm gonna use that one as my
And
match.
that's what
of
you
the
did.
year.
You went home
I
and
did. I took a
crashed.
nap real quick. Chief?
I'm going to be a homer.
Okay.
The night that Cross came back onto WWE.
Okay. It's not a match, but okay.
That's what
We'll let
let it slide.
I'm the chief. I can get away with it.
Well, he did take out McIntyre when he returned, so yeah. Okay.
I guess.
We'll let it go. Matt, how about yours?
I would have to go with
Matt Cardona.
Fine, Matt Cardona versus Nick Gage at GCW Homecoming. So suck it.
Oh my God.
That was bloody, but I would say Cody versus the Hell in a Cell match. That was
with Seth.
Insane.
The blood pictures from this hotel room after that Nick Cage match. Holy crap, Nick Cage.
Hi, Liz.
Yeah, Liz is in the chat room, so you got 8 minutes of.
But definitely the best women's match of 2022 was
guys are lucky.
Miranda versus Tessa.
Okay,
By a mile.
Oh my God, what a match!
It was a great match. A great match.
I still.
And it's leading up to
a
another
payoff for
match
them, yeah.
somewhere.
I couldn't take my eyes off of Tessa's eyes because she was just so zoned and focused in, almost hypnotic in a way. When you look at her focus, it's just crazy. All right, pick one, Mr. Thomas.
Wrestler of the Year. And then we'll let Aaron go first this time.
No, I'm going to go to Matt.
No.
Don't tell me how to produce this
You
show.
can only pick one person.
You told me
one
to pick
person for this whole thing.
Best-
And
oh,
it's
these-
the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
We're doing these here?
Yes, best
Oh,
of.
okay. Which one are we on now?
Wrestler of the Year.
I would agree with that 1,000%, except for one thing. How can you deny Sami Zayn for what he's been doing as part of that bloodline thus far? I mean, you're right.
Like
I mean,
an entertainment part, yes, but like as far as putting matches on, Roman Reigns is like untouchable.
No. And you have something on here that it's been how many years since he lost or was pinned? I mean, it's
Three or
years.
four, yeah.
Really, since he held the title, right?
I'm going to say
Before
Drew
that, Corbin
McIntyre.
beat him.
Drew McIntyre's
Drew
another great
McIntyre.
one. I just would want Drew to get his up and coming because when he won the belt, nobody was there to cheer him.
Everything changed.
I think they're the two.
Stupid COVID.
Other than Bailey and the other female, I think they're the four that really held the company together.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the last couple
Absolutely.
years.
Especially during that pandemic era. It was between Drew and Bailey for the most part.
You know,
They
I come
really-
up with a good one once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Not often. though.
I'm going with local boy Hammerstone, MLW champion all year.
Okay.
FSW champion, working his
Suck
ass
up.
off. Yes. Tell him to kick my ass tonight.
We'll see him tonight.
Yes, we will.
And I'm going in the back and tell him to whip him and Graves to whip your ass.
Chief, pick one of the remaining items there.
Who will be a big star in 2023? What's our prediction?
I say
Mine's easy.
I'm
What
going
do you
Roxanne
think?
Perez.
Huh?
I'm going Roxanne Perez. She's going to
Okay.
be a big star this year.
Just off
Next
my
year.
answer, Miranda Alizé will be signed to some big company, and she will become a gigantic star in 2023. It is a crime to the wrestling community that she's not signed somewhere.
Scott, we still have 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So Take a chill. They're coming. We'll get them out of here as soon as we go dark. Don't you worry. What was the question? Oh, Big Star?
Yes, Mr.
Who did I have in my head? I did have a name in my head. Oh, from AEW, the man who just beat the GOAT. Action Andretti.
Ooh, good pick.
Andrade?
No,
Yeah,
Andretti.
Andretti.
Like Mario
Andretti,
Andretti.
okay.
Yeah, his name is Action Andretti from Maryland.
Yeah.
He's 24.
Chief for losing sales.
What's her first
The mall's
name?
not open yet.
Gonzalez? What's her first
Raquel?
Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez.
Raquel
Okay.
Rodriguez now.
Or Rodriguez.
Elizabeth says she's the breakout star of the year.
I agree.
Go ahead, debate that one, Chief. I dare you. Or as Matt would say, I double dare you.
I got one thing to say. Damn! In my best Ron Simmons voice.
There you go.
Damn!
Who was the breakout star this year? If we look at the past year, who would you say is a breakout star?
Shotzi.
Who's injured now, unfortunately.
Yeah, broken hand.
Shotzi.
I didn't care about her in 2020, beginning of 2022, and I still don't.
That's just my opinion.
Ronald says Nikita Lyons, by the way. April Hahn would love that answer.
Nikki.
She's on an NXT.
Yeah. She
So who's
she blonde-headed girl, isn't
Yeah.
she? Yeah.
So well, we're not okay. Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
Tommy
there's
says-
another good one.
Matt, what was your reply?
I
to
was
that?
literally about to say Braun Breaker.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Well,
it?
we'll count yours. You know, he's just.
Although he spelled it wrong. He spelled it as Braun, B-R-A-U-N. Isn't it Braun, B-R-O-N?
He can't even spell chief right, and he's got a college degree. So go figure.
Well,
but it's okay. It's all right.
What school?
Wasn't it Cracker Jacks High?
No, Loyola Marymount, I believe.
No, not who? Breaker?
Tommy.
No.
I'm talking about Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
You said Loyola Marymount,
Yeah.
right? I said Cracker Jacks University.
Well, that's close enough.
See?
It's a basketball school.
Yeah, you know.
Exactly.
He can't spell chief right, man.
Braun.
2 weeks in a row, he spelled it wrong.
Yeah, Brett, who did you say?
Roxanne.
Roxanne. And you said Roxanne?
No,
Who's your
Gonzalez.
answer? Oh, Gonzalez.
Raquel Rodriguez, yeah. Okay, Mr. Aaron. let's
You know
go.
what? I'm gonna say it this way. It's gonna be a really shot out of my ass here, but I'm gonna go with Austin Theory, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Okay. Granted, he got the big push with Vince and all the egg and all that other crap. He lost right.
Love you, Tom.
He he lost the briefcase in a stupid attempt to cash in. We all know that.
Yeah.
However, he took the twist of the character. They made something somewhat better out of it.
Yeah, they tweaked it.
They tweaked it, right? The beard, the whole get
Yeah.
rid of the selfie thing.
Yeah, made it more
I
aggressive.
think there'll be more to come.
I agree.
And I think there'll be a bigger year for him next year. But I think for him to kind of twist out of that a little bit, I think is
yeah, I
a
agree.
good move.
Can I have a second one?
Yes. Go ahead.
Sefa Fatu.
Also known as Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
He's up there too.
Pay-per-view or premium live event of the year, gents?
I enjoyed Forbidden Door.
Double or nothing.
We're still on the front page. Best ofs.
He's looking for clues on the backside.
I'm looking for
What was that
my-
one match?
I'm looking for my answer, and I can't tell you.
Because I'm a homer, and I want us to continue, I'm going to say UWW3. Did you hear that, Jenny?
She's not listening.
And Tom? And Winter? UWW3.
I'm going to say the ROH pay-per-view that was just on
Okay.
a couple weeks ago. That was
Last week.
Like 7 days ago?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
one.
it was last week.
That's the
Yeah.
one. I get my days screwed up, but anyway, no, that and I gotta. That's one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long, long time, folks.
FTR versus the Briscoes is definitely
Yeah.
That was freaking
banger of a
insane.
tag match.
That's one. Take my money.
Yeah. All right, we have a couple of minutes left, so let's get into the last topic here. And Tommy Guns put this in the chat room earlier. He thinks what Chief and I did earlier in this hour should make this episode of the year. However,
Well, if you'd followed us all year, you wouldn't have known we had a couple more issues.
That's right.
That we got over on the.
I mean, think about this. Here we are. We're week 50 of the year right now, roughly, right? We have 2 more weeks to go. And granted, we're going to be going dark the last couple of weeks, so we
You
can
know,
catch our breath and enjoy the
Liz,
holidays with
Liz
family.
and I were saying, where's this year going?
Oh, it's crazy how fast it goes.
Yeah.
So we've done 50 episodes.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're what 3 years plus on the air.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they keep getting better and better, in my opinion.
I try hard.
You do. So, what's your best episode in your mind? I've been stalling long enough to try to give you guys a couple of seconds to think of something. But there's been a lot of episodes. What do you think? What comes to mind for us?
My favorite was Demolition.
Yeah.
Having them on the show, that was so cool. I was like mildly scared of them as a child, but then like going along, I became like a big fan of theirs.
Yes.
So like having
Yes.
them here was crazy.
Yes.
Since we're going the Homer route,
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with when we debuted the UW belts on the air.
Oh, yeah. First ever.
Suck up.
Well,
I'm following in the host's footsteps.
I would like one of the 20 episodes Jenny Santana was on.
Thank you, Jennifer. Your shows are so much fun to watch. Thank you, Jennifer.
I only have one. The day that Lady Tapa put me in a headlock.
I knew that was gold.
Yeah, that's gold.
Yeah, that's
gold. No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. It's great seeing, and we've had some great guests on this year.
Mhm.
Even what
Video.
videoed in.
They're all guests.
Yeah, something like. I've thoroughly enjoyed them.
I'm going the kiss ass route too. Actually, it wasn't a full episode, but we had to come in here and interview Tessa Blanchard.
Absolutely.
Nicest person in wrestling.
I don't know if you saw Tommy Guns' comment, but one of his highlight reels is when he got chopped. Twice. So there you go.
Hey, I'll take 2 more
Vote
chops
number
from-
2, Ronald.
Hey, I'll
Ronald
take
Goose.
chops from Oscar any day.
Trust me, hey, for you folks out there, I am in negotiations with Funny Bone to come in and do
Oh
some
my God.
chops.
Yes.
No, not on me. I'm bowing out.
No,
that
no,
one.
wait. You just
No,
said.
I said Alice Blair. I said Alice Blair.
I heard Funny Bone. That's all
I
I heard.
Yeah. I didn't hear nothing on no Alice.
hey, we have this on recording.
You're sitting next to him. Did you hear anything off of Alice Blair? Me
I can
neither.
edit this later.
Me
You
neither.
can
I
say
didn't
whatever
hear
you
nothing.
want.
Me nothing.
Put a soundbite in.
What comes on YouTube later is up to me.
That's right.
I might even try to get Hammerstone or Graves to chop him tonight.
Oh my God. As long, but they have to lick their hand
No.
and then do that.
As long as you get it on video so we can post it all over social media.
There
it's
you
fine.
go.
Or Gregory
It's the only,
Sharp.
It's the only time.
He's
He's got a good one too. It's the only time his chest gets color. Did you notice how white he is? He's
but
like
you-
he's like Sheamus.
But you
I
know,
am.
in all honesty, my brother,
Because I am Irish a little
and,
bit.
and I say this.
I am.
I know you are.
I say this, all due respect to you. Thank you very much for raising $200.
Oh, anytime for
absolutely.
charity. Anytime.
Absolutely. And with that, I mean, listen, we've all named segments and shows, and one show always seems to get a little bit better than the other for whatever the reason. Our guests, I'm sorry that I missed the interview with Tessa, but you guys did a great job. I had an opportunity to meet
Thank
her
you.
last week, as advertised. You know, in terms of who she is and her background.
And real quick, I saw a commercial on Channel 3 News last night, okay? And it had our guest on there from Thursday. Their logo.
Oh, the Burton?
Their
Burton
logo
Foundation?
their logo was up there.
Okay.
And UNLV talking about
Shut up, Ronald.
their what they do over there with mental health and things like that. So I guess Avery Burton's involved with
Well, that's
UNLV
great.
too.
Nice.
Let's just say UNLV picked them up from us.
The Dolphins are getting destroyed tonight. They're not going to be able to handle the cold. You hit the mic. You hit the
That was Chief. That was Chief.
Thank you.
I didn't do
You
it.
hit the
But
mic.
even Elizabeth says that, Thomas, you should take Funny Bones chops. Anyway,
We'll
all
talk
right,
later, Liz.
We got to wrap up. So to answer your question about what's my favorite episode, we've had guests, we've had
All of
such
them.
great fun. Yeah, you know, it's like when you have multiple children in your family, it's like who's your favorite child?
You look forward coming in every week.
Absolutely,
to do the
because
show.
we have so much flipping fun, and we do stuff that people don't realize is going to happen, and we swerve them. But
I
you
love
know,
it.
I listen. Meeting Demolition, talking to a Tessa, meeting her, and all the wrestlers, the UWW ladies, and Jen and
Vicky Guerrero.
Vicky Guerrero. Yeah, I mean, and we've met Shaw, and I mean, you're talking people.
MK.
MK. Well, he's not Shaw Guerrero or Vicky. No, I'm only kidding. MK's great. All the guests we've had.
Eddie Edwards.
Do we have Eddie Edwards
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Eddie Edwards. Just kidding.
Man.
I'm going to tell you what
Hey,
the
Impact World
I'm-
Champion.
I know.
Josh Alexander.
Josh
we've
Alexander.
Had.
But here's the thing. You know what my favorite episode was?
One that hasn't happened yet.
No, the next one.
This one here.
the one where we started with the idea of the poster, of getting the signatures.
Yeah.
All the guests that came in, when
Yep.
we went to whoever it was, Rick Upchurch signed it, we signed it. Doing something like that because we have a very powerful platform here.
Yeah.
And to be able to use it to help the community and
Shut up, Ronald.
And give back to the community. Will you shut up? I'm trying to do something sincere here. So
she'd cave his chest in.
that to me was really the best episode when we decided to start doing that and raise money for an organization that helps people at this time of year because
you getting to meet Kevin Sullivan.
oh my God, the stories he told me in the back. Holy crap.
Hey, I'm just throwing
That's what I'm
it
saying.
out-
All of
just
the
throwing
guests,
it
all
out
of
there.
these wrestlers who we all watched at some point in our
Yep.
life of watching wrestling, that you look
Old
at,
school.
that you say, you know what, boy, it'd be pretty cool if we meet these people someday. And you know what, fellas, this platform has allowed us to do that and do things that we never thought we'd ever have the opportunity to do. So with that, it's time we wrap up because I got to get these guys over to the mall. What do you guys have going on over there today, real quick?
Sports Card Collectible Show at the Boulevard Mall, sponsored by
Power Play Sports Collectibles.
Thank you
And
very
Scott
much,
Hosey.
and Mr. Scott Hosey.
That's
Shout
the
out
name
to
you forget of this show.
Shout out to you.
And
Hey,
let's I want
you
to
sure you want him,
And
Scott?
supposedly there is, no, not supposedly, there will be a card and collectible show at Sam's Town
in February.
February.
25th and 26th.
Thank you.
Coinciding when Impact is going to be in town.
Yep.
But
Correct.
I got to throw a shout out to Scott. And when we talk about him, we have fun, and he's in the chat room. But he's one of the founders of this show.
Hey, that's-
and people forget about that when we started in his store and we met Chief for the first time, ringing the bell, at least the first time for me to meet him. So without Scott's involvement from the beginning and allowing us to use his store 3.5 years ago, TCA would not be what it is today.
Yes,
Just give
I
me
met
some.
you at the mall in the store.
Yeah. So thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody.
Still can't figure out who. See, he snuck in, but
I don't know. It's because Chief keeps bringing him. If he stops bringing him, he wouldn't be here anymore. Besides, he sucks as an agent. So, Ronald, anytime you're ready to move
Also,
up
go down to the Boulevard Mall today. Mary Gibbs, who was Boo in Monsters, Inc., will be at the card show from 12 to 4.
Excellent. Get down there and do that. So these guys got to hustle. Matt, 15 seconds.
Everybody have a good rest of the year. Enjoy the holidays. We'll see you next year with bigger and better things.
Chief.
Hey, school's out. Watch for the children on the streets, please. And then, walking around. Happy holidays. Everybody be safe. Love you all. See you next year.
Thomas.
Happy holidays. Be safe. See you next year.
My comment is very simply this. We focus on those who are in need at this time of year. We really need to do that every day of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Join me at the top of the hour when my in-studio guest is someone who loves to kick my ass 3 times a week, my CrossFit trainer,
Funny
Eli
Bone?
Emery. Who?
Funny Bone?
No, coming
Damn.
for you. Yes, sir.
To everybody here, happy holidays, however you support it.
Exactly.
Love you all.
So join me at the top of the hour. Insight into some CrossFit. Eli, General Manager of CrossFit Raw Appeal will be here, and you as well. So as I always like to say, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. Remember, we have everybody 365 days out of the year. Thank you for watching. Have a great Christmas, New Year, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you need. We'll see you in an hour, Aaron's Hour. Thank you for watching, folks.